Data faces universal problems of inefficiency, incompatibility, and inaccuracy. Important credentials that are essential to our lives, such as identity documents, training certificates, diplomas, and licenses, are held in data silos, lack privacy, and are often time-consuming and expensive to verify. Society needs an effective framework to support the speed and growth of social and economic demands for reliable data. DOC is a decentralized and open-source network for issuing verifiable credentials. With state-of-the-art blockchain technology, DOC provides an infrastructure and tools for developers to build groundbreaking and innovative applications for issuing credentials that are cryptographically protected, tamper-proof, and secured via a purpose-built and public blockchain. DOC utilizes W3C standards for interoperability with other W3C compliant solutions. To start, an issuer creates a decentralized identity and then issues the credential on the DOC blockchain, ensuring all information can be traced directly to its source, preventing any fraud. The recipient receives the credential and can then share it with third parties to instantly verify its legitimacy. DOC stands to disrupt major global industries that require efficient systems for credential verification, including education, workforce, government, and supply chain. If you think that DOC can help streamline your business, get in touch today.
Hey everyone, my name's Nick and I'm the CEO at DOC. Well, today we've got some exciting news for everyone. Today is the launch of our mainnet. Now, getting to this stage is a result of a lot of collaboration, hard work, and testing right across the entire team. But it has been hard. At times, like anything worthwhile, there are tough times. So what has kept us going as we worked through some of the issues that we've encountered? The answer lies in the huge inefficiencies that exist in the way that we store data today, particularly our credentials, and that's some of our most valuable data. Credentials being things like identity, like passports, driver's licenses, professional accreditations, even university degrees and qualifications. Typically today, we keep these types of data in hard copy formats. And they often are pretty archaic in nature. They're in locked drawers or adorning the kind of walls of our offices. This makes them difficult to distribute, but also they can be pretty easy to forge. And this requires anyone looking at these credentials to manually validate their authenticity, which is of course time consuming and expensive. These efficiencies really are not great in today's fast-paced and online world. In essence, DOC makes data more efficient, and it provides government departments, other organisations, companies, universities, schools, colleges, the ability to issue credentials that, because they use cryptography, are now verifiable. This means that their validity and their authenticity can now be proven, and because they're now digital, they can also be distributed electronically. Anyone issuing in DOC need not rely on any third parties to do so, which is another huge benefit. Now they can go onto the platform, create their own decentralized self-sovereign identity, and issue credentials with that identity. Using DOC, our most valuable data is now portable and trusted. Orgs can now issue at greater speed and at lower cost. And what they receive, the electronic credential, is now of much higher value because, of course, it's portable and can be verified. And those actually verifying the credentials can do so instantly without the cost and the manual effort that we associate with the hard copy credentials pretty prevalent today. Furthermore, these credentials can optionally be anchored to the DOC blockchain, creating an immutable record of their existence and also a timestamp for compliance teams. So now that we've explained our why, we hope that whether you're a developer building on DOC, a company or an organization issuing on Doc, or you're a recipient of one of the credentials, we hope that you enjoy using it as much as the team and I enjoyed building it.
As part of announcing our mainnet launch, I'd like to highlight a few important use cases for our credentials that I hope provide some insight into the potential of Doc. Doc uses standards from W3C, an international organization developing open standards across the web, which makes our credentials by design interoperable across platforms and applications. The first use case I'd like to highlight is education. A major challenge faced by universities today is representing students' achievements in ways that translate to opportunities in the workforce. Students are finding less value in higher education, universities are struggling to justify rising costs, and graduates are struggling to leverage their education when joining the workforce. By issuing credentials using Doc, universities can capture a much more extensive and marketable set of records of their students' accomplishments. These machine-readable records can easily transfer to job application systems and professional profiles, resulting in continued value for students well beyond graduation. Workforce verifications are plagued with inefficiencies, manual processes, and slow gatekeepers. Resumes are outdated, and online profiles lack credibility. Companies also spend billions annually running background checks and ensuring compliance. Imagine how much easier and more efficient hiring would be if candidates provided verified information upfront in the recruiting process, captured as digital records that could be integrated across HR platforms and applicant tracking systems. Employers can also issue digital credentials to their employees as a way of encouraging learning on the job and workforce development, and which research has shown encourages employees' retention and satisfaction. The need for verifiable credentials is especially evident in the healthcare sector, where verifications can take weeks, creating major delays in filling much-needed healthcare roles. By using Doc, licenses for medical workers can be instantly verified by any hospital, clinic, or medical department. The final use case I'd like to highlight is supply chain. Everything from products to our food to natural resources are shipped around the world, often passing through dozens of checks across organizations, shipping companies, and border agencies. Current supply chain systems often require heavy overhead, manual processes, and lack transparency. Doc's solution solves these issues by enabling accurate tracking and verifiable authorizations along every step of the supply chain. Participants can gain valuable insights, prevent fraud, and streamline cooperation.
Hi, I'll be talking about various aspects of the Doc token. Doc concluded the ICO in early 2018, issuing 1 billion tokens. 60% of the supply is still in circulation, and the remaining 40% is with the Doc Association. The association has committed 50% of its holdings, that is 20% of the total supply, towards emission rewards. The emission rewards are the gradual release of tokens which are given to the contributors of the network, like the validators, developers, and certain fraction of the emission rewards also goes towards a treasury which contributes to the network in the long run. The amount of rewards going towards the validators, the treasury, and other participants will vary in different phases of the network. For the exact amount of the supply, rewards, and Doc Association's holdings, check out the token economics section of the documentation. The ERC20 tokens from Ethereum will be migrated to the Doc mainnet in Q4 of 2020. Coming to the utility of the token currently serves the purpose of writing to the blockchain, as all transaction fees are paid in the token. As the network evolves through different phases, the token will be used for governance and for the selection of validators through staking. The network will start as a proof of authority network, or POA, where nodes will be selected by Doc to be validators who take turns authoring blocks. Time is divided into epochs, and each validator gets equal opportunity to author blocks in an epoch. However, the actual emission rewards depends on the validator's performance. So if a validator is down for whatever reason, it will lose rewards proportional to its downtime. The validators should try to be highly available by having decent hardware, internet connectivity, and keeping up with the code upgrades that we push periodically. Validators will be penalized if they try to harm the network in any way, like not following the rules of the network or equivocating or any other malicious activity, and they will be removed from the network. The validators' emission rewards are only partially credited to their balance. A fraction of the rewards are locked and are gradually released during the proof of stake phase. The validators do get 100% of any transaction fees in any blocks authored by them. In the later part of POA, token holders can make governance proposals by locking certain amount of tokens. Again, for the exact duration of the epoch, the validators rewards, the treasury rewards, the locking percentage, do check out our documentation. Second phase of the network will be a proof of stake phase or POS, where becoming a validator requires staking tokens. The chances of becoming a validator are directly proportional to the amount of staked tokens. A validator can stake its own tokens or invite others to nominate it by staking their tokens. The validator will charge a commission for its services, and each nominator gets a share of the validator's reward. The commission is independently decided by each validator. We use the Web3 Foundation's Nominated Proof of Stake or NPOS for selecting validators. Each year the network will release 25% of the remaining supply. The exact release schedule is mentioned in our documentation. The emission rate is kept such that it incentivizes 50% of the circulating supply to stay liquid, as NPOS increases the emission rate linearly until the 50% supply is reached. After that, it decreases the emission exponentially. Should malicious behavior be detected, the validators and the nominators will be slashed. That is, they lose a fraction of the stake. The fraction depends on the severity of the maliciousness. Like equivocation can cause heavy slashing, whereas downtime can cause zero or minimal slashing. Slash stake goes to the treasury. Similar to POA, tokens can be used to make proposals. Also, token holders can vote for proposals, which was not allowed in POA.
Hey community, my name is Florian Liss and I'm the technical lead of staking facilities. We are a enterprise-grade infrastructure provider for proof-of-stake blockchains from Munich, Germany, and some of you may know us from other prominent projects like Cosmos, Tezos, or even Polkadot. We recently joined the Proof of Authority testnet by Doc, and so far the team has done an amazing job in onboarding us. Our experience with the community has been great so far, and yeah, the whole thing was nothing but a pleasure. So we're now excited to join the Doc mainnet as a validator, and we think that the use case of Doc will become a cornerstone of the Polkadot or Web3 ecosystem, and even go beyond that. Issuing credentials and providing decentralized identities will enable a whole lot of use cases that are not possible today. So we're really excited to see what people will build upon Doc. And yeah, we're hoping that we see some cool things here. So happy mainnet launch, everyone.
We at Doc have been building a software development kit containing libraries and tooling in order to allow our developers to build decentralized applications for creating, issuing, and verifying privacy-preserving digital credentials, all while conforming to the W3C standards. Real-world use cases include, but are not limited to, university degree issuance, biometric verification, medical records, and more. The SDK is designed to be able to interact with the Doc network and also provide some offline functionality for the verifiable credential data model. We use a library written in ES6 in order to allow our developers and other users to communicate with our nodes or your own forks through JSON RPC leveraging Polkadot.js. It is available open source on GitHub under the MIT license or installable through npm and yarn. We provide a corresponding Doc substrate repository also available on GitHub to run alongside the SDK, or you can choose to fork your own nodes. Packed with methods and utilities for features such as credential schema validation, RDF reasoning, creating and resolving DIDs, we aim to flatten the development curve for anyone wishing to use verifiable credentials. It is possible to use a library offline or on your own network, and connecting to a node is not always required depending on your use case. The blockchain is primarily used to store information relating to decentralized identifiers, schemas, blobs, credential revocations, interoperability, claims deduction, and more. Alongside the library, we also provide example scripts, API references, and tutorials to get started with. They cover topics such as DID creation, DID resolving, credential and presentation creation, issuance and verification, chain blobs, JSON schemas, and more to come as we develop them. Developer support is one of our top priorities, and we often check GitHub issues and pull requests daily. If you'd like to contribute to the development, we welcome any and all feedback. We provide full documentation of our API in the form of a website, markdown documents, and videos. There is a stringent CI process to maximize stability and minimize errors, running a suite of unit and integration tests on every PR and commit. Already, there are applications built with the Doc SDK, such as our W3C verifier, which is what we believe to be the world's first W3C standard compliant credential verifier, and it is open source, free to use, and publicly available at verifier.doc.io. Verifiable enables their customers to issue secure, compliant credentials via blockchain, which are cryptographically secured, individually owned, and universally verifiable. The Certify app enables these educational institutions to issue credentials on the Doc network that represent students' accomplishments in a format that is easily shareable and verifiable throughout their careers. If you would like to build your application with Doc, don't hesitate to contact us for any further information.